Welcome to Film Flicks Recaps. Today, we will explain a sci-fi comedy movie, Don't Look Up. The movie begins with a young PhD scholar, Kate Dibiasky, who discovers a nearby comet. She informs her professor, Dr. Mindy Randall, who congratulates her on her discovery, and they celebrate. Further, Randall names the comet Dibiasky, and checks its trajectory. He discovers that it would strike the Earth in 6 months and this can cause human extinction on Earth. Immediately, they call NASA to alert them about the discovery and get in touch with Defense Coordination Officer, Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe. He advises them to meet the President to discuss this matter. They reach the White House on the following day where Dr. Oglethorpe joins them as they arrive early in the morning. They wait for the entire day, but could not meet the President because of her busy schedule. Later they are asked to leave since the President is tired. They find a hotel and get in touch with their family, however, they don't discuss anything about their situation. Randall calls his wife June and his sons while Kate dials her journalist lover Philip. Kate gets a bit irate during the discussion with Philip before disconnecting the call. The following day, they meet the President and Randall explains the situation to the President, who doesn't take the matter seriously and says they receive alerts about the world's end every month. They decide to talk to the media because they conclude that the President is least interested to do anything about it. They understand that they can get in trouble because it is classified information. However, they go ahead rather than die in a comet crash. Meanwhile, Sir Peter Isherwell, tech billionaire and CEO of Bash, learns about the comet from his sources. On the other hand, the duo Randall and Kate manage to appear in the New York Herald interviews with Brie Evanti and Jack Bremer's morning talk show The Daily Rip. When Kate and Mindy start telling about their research, they are not taken seriously by the hosts who think that they should lighten the mood of terrible news. Furious Kate starts shouting about the situation they can get into in the next 6 months. Eventually, she leaves while Mindy completes the rest of the interview. In the end, Brie invites Mindy for a drink. While checking the stats of the show, Dr. Mindy appears too handsome for a scientist, while Kate has become meme material. Later, the news channel withdraws its support since NASA states the data they had sent earlier is insufficient. However, they quickly come to know that NASA's administrator is one of the President's donors and has taken this decision on her behalf. Things get worse for Kate when Philip uses Kate's viral popularity to his advantage and publishes a piece about his past adulterous affairs. Kate considers his doings as a breakup and decides to move forward. Randall cannot stay off social media, engaging in debates with deniers of science and conspiracy theorists. To apologize for ignoring them, the President orders the FBI to bring Kate, Mindy, and Teddy back to her office. Although Kate immediately realizes that they are only doing this because they are worried about failing their midterms, she agrees to help regardless because getting to stop the comet is currently the main priority. In a broadcast to the entire country, the President declares that the comet is accurate and that they will launch a spacecraft with nuclear weapons to destroy it. As the incident becomes widely publicized online and receives the attention it deserves, Randall starts appearing on various television programs and magazine covers. After appearing on The Daily Rip again, Teddy and Kate debate comet skeptics on a conservative program. Brie flirts with Randall, and they end up sleeping together and talking about their lives, but Mindy does not inform Brie about his wife. When launch day finally arrives, it is broadcast all over the world. The spacecraft takes off successfully. Everyone is excited that the comet will be gone soon. Suddenly, Isherwell walks in and asks for a private discussion with the President. Meanwhile, people notice that the spacecrafts are making a U-turn and returning to their base. Before the trio could understand anything, Mindy, Kate and Teddy are locked in a room. They are surprised to find out the mission gets abolished. While the rest of the world is still attempting to figure out what happened, Professor Mindy is brought out of the room, revealing to him that he has been appointed as the White House's chief science advisor. Further, he is called to an emergency cabinet meeting, leaving Teddy and Kate behind. The mission was cancelled because Isherwell believes that the comet is composed of trillions of dollars worth of rare earth minerals that technology manufacturers utilize in products like phones. They have been running out because China owns most of the mines. Isherwell has other plans, and he reveals that his idea is to deploy some drones to destroy the comet, and then let the smaller pieces fall into the ocean. Eventually, they will collect and mine them, eliminating poverty and many problems. Randall disagrees with this, particularly when he finds out that the technology Isherwell plans to utilize has not been subjected to academic peer review. Additionally, he realizes that those who have spoken out against Isherwell have been silenced. However, the situation gets out of his hands, and he is powerless to stop it. After the meeting, he meets Kate and Teddy in a bar and tells them about Isherwell and his plans. Some people in the bar overhear them and ask them about the comet. As one of the waitresses sees the official White House badge on Professor Mandy, Kate decides they deserve to know the truth. Therefore, she proclaims for everyone to hear that the president will allow the comet to strike the Earth so that the rich may get even richer. The FBI arrests Kate and accuses her of disclosing classified information and causing damage to private property. However, they agree to let her go if she signs a deal promising to stop speaking about the incident publicly or in the media. In addition, she is to go off the grid. Kate, of course, accepts the deal and returns to her small hometown in Illinois. When she reaches her home, her parents don't allow her in their home because they support the government, and they believe that there will be more jobs after the comet crashes. They also expect jobs for themselves. She starts working at a grocery store as a cashier, where she meets Yul and his friends, who are impressed by her. Initially, she declines to be herself, but when they show her memes, she agrees. Further, they ask her to hang out with them. Kate accepts to join them after realizing they have been stealing from the market. She lets them go since she no longer cares because the world's end is approaching. She also starts a relationship with Yul. While having an ongoing relationship with Bree, Randall keeps working for the president because he believes that is the only thing he can do to make the world a better place. One night when Mindy and Bree return to their usual hotel room, they are shocked to see June. Bree makes things easier for Mindy and asks him if he would want to live with her or June in Michigan. Mindy immediately chooses Bree over June, which disheartens her. June throws his pills at him and leaves after saying goodbye to him. Mindy visits Ishwarwal's factory, where he demonstrates the drones he has planned to use to destroy the comet. Mindy asks Ishwarwal to be open to the peer review process. Ishwarwal reveals that many of his colleagues are suspended from this mission because they ask too many questions. He tells Ishwarwal not just to see the entire mission as a businessman. Furious by this, Ishwarwal explains to Mindy that he is not just a businessman and can talk about anyone's health and character even before it happens. He tells Mindy that he turns to pleasure rather than experience pain, and he will die alone by his algorithms. Again, Mindy appears on the Daily Rip and eventually loses control. He becomes enraged and yells at everyone on national television for not being more concerned about the comet, which people had begun to believe is not accurate. He also highlights how Ishwarwal silences any scientists who disagree with him, that the president lied, and that the entire administration has become insane. Moments later, Bree ends her relationship with him once the FBI apprehends him. Later, while Kate spends time with Yul, she notices the comet in the sky. Meanwhile, Randall is making his way back to Michigan and notices the same thing. The comet has finally gotten close enough to be seen with bare eyes. The two record themselves with it and invite the rest of the world to watch it, launching a look-up movement that millions worldwide join and publish on the internet. A director also makes a film about the comet in due course. As a result, the president launches her campaign, Don't Look Up, in retaliation, with the backing of millions of conservative voters and conspiracy theorists who take her word for it that Randall wants people to be terrified and lose their freedom. Meanwhile, Russia, India, and China send spacecraft to stop the comet because their share of its minerals is diminishing. Unfortunately, the launch fails, and the spacecraft explodes. This causes riots and protests to erupt in the streets. Randall again meets Kate, whom she introduces to Yul, and they go grocery shopping before driving them back to his hometown so they may spend their final day as a family as the comet draws nearer and the skeptics begin to see through the lies. Mindy reaches home and apologizes to June. She accepts it, and they begin to have their last feast with Kate, Yul, Teddy, and their children. While waiting to begin, President Orwell asks Ishwarwal what the algorithms predict would happen to her after she dies. He replies that she will be killed by a Bronterock, whatever that may be. Eventually, the drones are fired, however, they lose several of the drones when the spacecraft takes off. Ishwarwal comforts them and says everything is alright because he knew there was a tolerance for error. However, he is entirely incorrect, as the rest of the drones explode as soon as they come into contact with the comet. Ishwarwal departs the place by saying that he needs to use the washroom and is followed by the president, leaving Jason. Afterwards, all the other scientists and technicians leave the place except Jason, who stays behind and waits for the president to return. Meanwhile, the president and the Ishwarwal join other millionaires aboard a covert spaceship built to keep its passengers alive cryogenically so they can escape Earth before disaster strikes. The president calls Mindy into the spaceship and offers him and his wife a place to stay. However, he declines because he wants to be with his near and dear ones until the end. Further, he wishes her good luck with her son, Jason. At this point, she realizes that she has left Jason at Ishwarwal's headquarters. People are clinging to their loved ones worldwide as the comet collides with Earth and ends life as we know it. 22,740 years later, The millionaire ship locates a planet with an atmosphere close enough to the Earth's for them to survive. Men and women wake from their cryogenic sleep to explore the area. When the president spots a strange animal and approaches it, the beast attacks and kills her as predicted by the algorithms. Isherwell indicates that the beast is called Bronterock and tells others around him never to pet them. In the final scene, Jason takes a live video of himself about him being the last man on the Earth. Tell us what you liked most about this film in the comments section. Also, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. See you at the next one.